Hello snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to review the new Gnu Finest Max Warpingtons Pro model. Basically, this is what replaces the space case. This board is available in three sizes, 151, 154, and 157. This board features Gnu's C2X camber profile, which is a mellower reverse camber between the feet and a longer camber section out in the tip and the tail. This will give you more snap and pop from those camber zones, but it's still going to give you ease of play right in the middle of the board. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a day that was sunny, bluebird, mild wind, a little bit warmer temps, so there were firm fresh corduroy groomers, and then it progressively just turned into slushy chundery ones. And I rode this board with my K2 Thraxis boots and my K2 Indy bindings. Here's the thing about the flex of this board. When you're charging, it feels like it's middle of the road, but the second you hit the park and you start buttering or hitting jibs or just playing around, it feels a lot softer. What you've got is an immense sweet spot in the tip and the tail that you can really press into, play around with, and then you got a stiffer section underfoot and through the middle. Not much stiffer, but just enough that it's noticeable that the tips are a little more playful. That sweet spot is just absolutely amazing on this board. Now when it comes to stability, it'll get the job done. You can charge with it, and you're probably going to feel a little bit underfoot. I mean, this board is damp yet lively, so bigger, vibrations kind of absorbs those, but micro vibrations that, the ones that just don't dissipate when you're hammering through a mobile field or a chunder field, you're still going to feel it, and the tips are going to flap, which a lot of that is due to the C2X camber profile, just with the way that it curves. Don't really worry about it. You can charge if you have to. I mean, it is still a slightly softer board, but you can still charge with it. Dear God, this board has serious snap. One of the things I typically do when I'm riding copper testing a board is I have laps that I take that are just consistently the same run. And there's a cat track roller that I always pop off of just to kind of cut back over to the park chair. When I loaded up this board and snapped, it just fucking sent it. And I mean to the moon. It just was like gone. This board has so much rebound out of it that when you load it up, you just pop more than you think, and it's very easy to load. I mean, that C2X profile is not a hard camber profile to load up on, but there is serious snap with this board. You can pop off a cat track, roller, side hit, and not worry about it. And when it comes to jumps, this board just accentuates that pop off the lip. So if the lip is snappy and you add the snap of this board, you're gonna pop twice as high and go twice as far. This board can send it on jumps. I would say that small to medium is where you want to be. It's when you start to hit anything like 45 feet, you're probably going to have some issues with it, just due to that softer flex in the tip of the tail when you're setting it down. But other than that, this board fucking pops. Let's talk about the butterability of this board. That sweet spot in the nose and the tail is immense, and it locks in so well, and it never fights you. It's very easy to engage. You can get your weight way out over it and just bend the board and just have it hold and play around. You can swivel and sizzle, and that translates to jibbing. That sweet spot is right there when you do a nose press or a tail press. It holds and stays locked in. The only thing that I find a little squirrely with this board is when you do get sideways between the feet, that reverse camber does not hug as well as traditional camber, so you might want to be sliding a little bit more under your front or back foot just to get it to lock in and hold. But this board jibs and butters amazing. This board has an asymmetrical side cut, which means that the heel side edge runs a little bit deeper than the toe side edge, just to accommodate, or I guess correct, for the way we ride with ourselves facing one way down the hill. It's that way. It's just the anatomy of our body. You don't have to hesitate to get deep and low with this board. You can really drive a carve and just flex into the center of the board, load up that rear camber zone, and get it to slingshot out of a turn. Magnet traction grips, it holds well. This is one of those boards that's solid at short, tight, quick turns, or long, hard, drawn-out carves. It pretty much handles everything in between. It's just one of those boards that you can carve on, and it's still a freestyle focused deck. So who's this board for? A butter expert that likes to get weird with their carves. Basically someone that's going to use their snowboard as a tool to express their riding through turning and just like pivoting and swiveling and pressing and shit like that. First off, the snap in this board blew me away. I mean, I was not expecting that much pop from something this soft. And second, that flex pattern, I can't believe how stable it feels underfoot, but you have such a huge pressable area in the nose and the tail to really just play around on this board. When I was riding this thing, like, it was amazing. I didn't want to get off of it. I really liked it. Like, I think that this is a better successor than the Space Case. Like, the Space Case was good, but this is way better. I can't stress that enough, I guess, that I really enjoyed this board. Comparable boards: the Niche Crux, the Ride Kink, the Arbor Westmark. This has been my review of the Gnu Finest. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you going to buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get that notification. That way you're not missing any of the videos we've got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really want to support us, you really want to see us build out the snowboard network that we're actually trying to build out over here, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it for you better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.